Good morning!
Welcome to day 3.
And welcome to a day at sea. It's our first day at sea, and I'm so excited because Days at Sea is our opportunity, our chance to really go all out and overwhelm you with things to do. As I said, I forget where I said it, but my goal is to get you to be mad at me in a good way. That you don't have the time to see everything. And today is one of those days where we are jam-packed with so many cool things, so many great events, so many musical events, so many behind-the-scenes events. But before we get to our first day at sea, day 3 of our 2013 cruise, let's just short review of yesterday.
Red for the Med. It was a great day. How good was the weather in Sicily yesterday?
Perfect day. And when we sailed in was beautiful, and then when we sailed out,
Perfect, wasn't it?
And Ronnie Gutierrez and all these incredibly talented passengers. If you're part of the So You Think You Can Jam contest, I want to say thank you so much for bringing your A game. I saw, there's a guy that's playing the baritone sax. I saw a couple of trumpet players. I saw
a couple of drummers.
I saw a woman playing the saw.
Yeah,
now, what other cruise are you going to see someone playing a saw?
I saw that too.
So,
yeah.
Kudos to all of you for being a part of that and showing your spirit, and also making some great music. And also thanks to Ronnie Gutierrez and the Spaghettini All-Stars for backing everybody up. They're great.
Yeah, Ronnie's great, and he loves doing it, which is a fantastic thing. And I think in this year's final coming up, I think it's possibly on our final C day, the final
day 6.
So You Think You Can Jam. And who knows, we might have to even sneak a few more, people in, just because the talent has been incredible.
Yeah,
for this cruise.
I'm very excited. The winner of the Onboard Talent Contest will play in our show on night 6. I'm very excited about that, so we'll see who it is. Meanwhile, yesterday, 2 phenomenal shows. I think that Kirk Whalum and Brian Culbertson set the bar very high.
Yeah, they did.
On night 1.
That is for sure.
But kudos to our dear friends Mindy Abair and Peter White for bringing it on day 2. 2 phenomenal shows last night, and also, how cool was it to see a literal sea of red?
Oh, I know. I love Red for the Midnight. I mean, it's got to be a staple, I think. It's so good to see everyone in there, in their get up. It was great. Again.
You guys are unbelievable. Because it's one thing to write an email and say, okay, we got this idea. We're going to do on night 2, how about Red for the Med? Pick an article of red clothing, and then to walk out of your cabin and see everybody in red. It's amazing. So I appreciate it very, very much.
Thing.
Thank you for showing the spirit.
That's for sure. And we had a huge night at the After Hours Serenade as well. It was massive. I was upstairs in Cosmopolitan Club with the Spaghettini All-Stars again.
Right.
Those guys are just phenomenal.
One of my favorite moments was seeing the unlikely duo of Keiko Matsui and Ralph Harris calling bingo. That was an odd one, but boy, funny. Of course, anything that Ralph Harris is involved with is funny.
No, absolutely. He's such a great guy, Ralph, as well. And, of course, Jake's the late night nosh with Jake. What a great guy Jake is. I mean, apart from being an incredible artist, he is, he's such a great guy, such a humble guy,
Right.
For a guy who's that incredible at what he does. And he just takes time with everyone, You've got to rate him that highly, I think.
Pete, I got to tell you, I heard yesterday from so many people. People came up to me and said, you were right about Jake, because they had not seen him. As famous as he is, I mean, the guy's got millions and millions and millions of YouTube hits, and he's known the world over. He's incredibly famous. There's still so many people that have never seen him.
Right.
On this ship, and that was on night 1. People saw him for the first time, and he, with one ukulele, 4 strings and one guy, he draws you in, and it was really great. And so last night, we had a little nosh with him at Johnny Rockets. That's dangerous, by the way. Johnny Rockets open till, 2 o'clock in the morning. I did it. I couldn't stay away.
No, I know.
Burger
I
and Shake with Jake? Come on.
It was a great night, that's for sure. So I mean, and
Tracy Carter,
Tracy
beautiful
Carter,
show
yeah.
with some great, very special guests.
What about that?
Gerald Albright
Gerald
sitting
on
in.
bass. That was very cool. I didn't know Gerald played bass.
What?
I didn't know that. No.
Gerald Albright, one of the all-time great bass players. Of course, he's really known for being a phenomenal saxophonist too. So anyway, wonderful day. It seems to just be rolling along beautifully. I hope you're having a fantastic time and ready for a fantastic day at sea. Day 3 of the Cos Cruise 2013. It starts at 9 a.m. this morning, where you will get a chance, if you're an autograph hound, get a chance to do a little scavenger hunt, going on a hunt for autographs all over the ship, and you can consult this book right here that you have, the program, to find out where everybody is. Every artist, every musician is scattered throughout the trip, throughout the ship. So you can grab your poster or your memory book, or somebody asked me if they could bring a bottle of the Cause wine for me to autograph, and I said absolutely, we'll be happy to autograph whatever you want. So bring it by, 9 a.m. to 11:30 all over the ship. The big autograph session this morning.
And then at 11 a.m. and first night once again in the Cosmopolitan Club, the UK Collective. They were great up there on the first night. They're
Awesome.
such great guys. And then last night we had Ollie and Mark on the promenade. And they're back again today. And we're going to do an outdoor barbecue today, folks, and music jam. That's going to be from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So you can go outside and enjoy a meal and enjoy the music from the guys.
And then at 1 o'clock we have probably one of the main events of every cruise that we do. People talk about it it's one of those things that people talk about for the entire year until the next cruise, and that is our gospel show, Inspiration in the Med, led by the one and only Kirk Whalum, and he's got some surprises up his sleeve. I know that Donnie McClurkin, who is a legendary gospel star, wonderful radio host as well, is a very popular syndicated radio host, he is on the ship, so I imagine if there's a gospel show, he will be nearby.
That sounds good to me.
Nearby. Plus a lot of other surprises. So if you're in the mood, just pretend like it's Sunday. It's technically Tuesday, but it might feel like a Sunday.
Sure.
That's 1 o'clock in the Metropolis Theater. That's first come, first serve, so get there early.
And we have a chill by the pool at 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. with Steve Quirk, one of our DJs on board. And I don't know if you were out there yesterday morning when Steve first started, but there was a small group of people out there, and it was just such an incredibly beautiful day. And Steve had a lot of people coming up to him, asking him about the music he was playing. And I mean, it was actually a beautiful time to be out there early in the morning and just listening to some great music. It was great fun. So he'll be back again today.
Steve is an encyclopedia about this music. He knows so much about all of this music, not just this music, but music in general. Also, you know about the ice skating rink on the Navigator of the Seas. Today will be your first chance to have what we call a smooth jazz free skate. You can go to Studio DK, the ice rink, and that is going to be at 1 o'clock all afternoon long, 1 to 4 p.m. So lace up your skates, go and have a nice time. That's something that you can't really do anywhere all that often, let alone on a cruise ship sailing in the Mediterranean. So have a nice little skate this afternoon.
Now, two events. Well, one event I'm especially looking forward to. I've never been into the other event because I've always been at the other one, and I'm sure the girls would never let me in. But we've got the Sisterhood and Just Us Guys coming up tomorrow. Both of them are going to start at 2:30 in the afternoon. Have you ever been into the Sisterhood?
I snuck in 1 year. I think it was in Alaska 2 years ago. I was able to kind of sneak in through a side door, and once I was spotted, they booted me out, and unceremoniously. I figured, my name is on the cruise. Maybe they'll let me just sit in.
Well, you'd think so.
And this is for women only. Even me, they wouldn't let in. So if you would like to go, I guess you have to be a woman. 2:30 p.m., and that is in Ixtapa Lounge for the Sisterhood, a forum for women only with Sheila E., Mindy Hebert, Keiko Matsui, Glynis Albright, and of course Pat Prescott will be hosting that. For the guys, Just Us Guys Road Stories. It's an onboard man cave with Pete, Pops Escovedo, Ralph Harris, Larry Graham, and more, and Cameron Smith will be heading that one up.
Cam's the perfect host for this one. He really gets things started. He's got so much energy, and he's great fun, Cam. So last year we had guys like Ricky Lawson, Ralph Harris coming up and telling stories, and of course Ricky touring with Michael Jackson. Some of the stories were unbelievable. It was great fun, that's for sure.
He's got some stories. If you enjoyed, as we were talking about Jake Shimabukuro, you can learn how to play like him. It might take you more than an hour, which is all we have allotted for our ukulele workshop, but Jake Shimabukuro himself will teach you how to play, and that is going to be happening in Boleros Lounge at 3 o'clock. The masterclass with Jake.
UK Collective are back for an afternoon session as well, folks. They're going to be out on the pool deck once more from 4 till 6 tomorrow.
Can't read, can you?
I can't. No, not at this hour of the morning. It's a bit tough.
Two of my very dear friends. Have you met them yet? Jack O'Neill and Cooney?
I don't know if I have. No.
These are big stars in their native South Africa. One is from Johannesburg and one is from Cape Town. It's a beautiful part of the world. If you've not been, I highly recommend it. It's a fantastic place to visit. One of my favorite cities in the world is Cape Town. And they are here. They're both fantastic musicians, keyboard player and singer. And so we'd like you to have a little musical taste of South Africa. And that's going to be in the Schooner Bar at 4 o'clock.
Now talk to us a little bit about this this next event, which is Summer Horns, a creative conversation with the people who are on the Summer Horns tour this year, hosted by Miss Pat Prescott, of course. Chat to us a little bit about it, because I'm sure a lot of the crowd out there saw your tour, and it was a great show. I saw it a couple of times.
Well, we released the Summer Horns album.
Right.
That's Mindy Abair, Gerald Albright, Richard Elliott, and me. And we had this album, which is a celebration of all the greatest horn section songs. You know, there was this golden era of music, if you ask me. Golden era from the late 60s to the late 70s, where bands like Earth, Wind and Fire and Tower of Power and Chicago and Blood, Sweat and Tears and Sly and the Family Stone, James Brown, of course. All these bands that had horn sections, and the horn sections were so much a part of the sound that you really couldn't imagine the band without the horns. In fact, in a band like Chicago, the horns set up in front of the singers,
Okay.
which is so great,
Yeah.
you know? So all this great music, and it's been, this is an idea that's been kind of running around in my head for many, many years, and so we finally did it, and the four of us put our saxophones to some of these great songs of all time. So we have at least the three of the four Summer Horns.
Sure.
I heard a rumor that there could be the fourth. I'm not sure. It's an unsubstantiated rumor.
Really?
But we will find out this afternoon at that's 4:30 to 5:30 for Summer Horns, and of course we invited our other horn players that are on the ship with us, Elon Trotman and Kirk Whalum, and Vincent Ingala to jump in on this. So it's a sax player sax fest, 4:30 in Ixtapa. If you like saxophone, that is the place to be.
So Kerry and Laurie from Spargatini, our great friends and great people, great hosts as well, they're hosting How to Open a Restaurant and 10 Other Bad Ideas. So I think this will be pretty funny, actually, just to see what they come up with. And that'll be in Boleros Lounge, where all the Spargatini events are during the week.
5 o'clock for that. And then in the late afternoon, you can have take your pick of a bunch of different musical acts that are playing around the ship. We've got Gianni Vancini, the Italian saxophone player at Vintages. Austin Gaddis, our Starlight kid and a wonderful talent. I made some music with him yesterday. He's 17 years old. He sings and plays so beautifully. He sings like a bird. Wait till you hear this
He's
guy
such a
sing.
great kid as well, isn't he? Lovely person.
Jay Gore, great guitarist, is doing his solo show at Peter White's Pub.
As I said last night, if you go to after last night's performance by Jay in the main show, he might release the rest of next year's lineup if he gets the chance, interrupting me all through the presentation.
And speaking of guitar, we've got another show from Terry Woolman. That's going to be happening in Boleros at 6:30 p.m. And then we are into our main shows for the evening. This is a biggie. Strap yourselves in. Make sure that you get a little bit of a nap in, because it is going to be Off the Hook in the Metropolis Theater tonight for the double bill of Sheila E. and the E Family, including Pops Escovedo, followed by none other than the legend himself. That's a lot of legends on one stage, by the way.
That is a huge night.
Larry Graham is going to be taking the stage. So that is a night of music. It's going to be a throwback to the past, some of the all-time greatest songs. If you love soul music and you love Latin music, this is a night tailor-made for you. It's going to be off the chain in the Metropolis Theater tonight. I can't wait.
People are pumped that Larry Graham's on board this week.
And he always dresses so well. I saw him come off the airplane on like a 20-hour flight from wherever he was coming. He was perfectly dressed. I looked at him and said, "You are my hero. How do you do that?" He was all rested and everything. It was amazing.
And then Gianni Vancini and Jay Gore are back for a set each in the evening as well. And then Club Spargatini host Brian Culbertson with The Fine Wines of Napa. And that's going to be at 8:30 to 9:30 as well tonight.
And Brian is very knowledgeable about wine. You know, he has his Napa wine getaway once a year in June, where he hosts a bunch of musicians, and people come from around the world to be a part of his event, which is a musical event with wine at every turn. And he, in the process, he's very knowledgeable about wine, so he'll take you through the fine wines of Napa. Our after-hour serenade tonight will be Pajama Party.
An old favourite for us.
Yes, our dear friend Q Hefner will be hosting that. That happens a little later on in the Cosmopolitan Club, and I've seen, as in years past, people on our cruises, it's one of the things I'm most proud of. People go all out.
Oh,
some wacky
it's
costumes
been incredible. Last year, the costumes were, I'm not even sure if they were pajamas.
Yeah,
they were
well,
just crazy.
One of them looked like it was made at NASA.
All the outfits with the saxophones on it.
Don't touch there. It's not appropriate. But there were things going on when you're talking about pajamas. It's not appropriate. So, finally our audience has arrived.
We don't get many people these days. We started off well.
Our one audience member, come on, just do a quick walkthrough. We have one audience member. It's my friend from the UK. This is Edward Barker.
Welcome, Ed.
Ed, thank you very much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. I had to pay him $5 to come. It's €5. Okay, that's it.
I'll leave these
Bye-bye.
two here.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming in. Who was that? Oh.
A bit of the old morning coffee. So this is just a prop.
All right, where were we? Oh, Pajama
Our
Party.
budget's just gone out the door as well.
Before the Pajama Party, we've got Gabriel Johnson, our trumpet player. He's going to be doing a show at Bolero's Lounge. We've got the Spagattini All-Stars plus friends doing a late-night jam at the Extapa Lounge, 11 o'clock. The best R&B songs ever. We're going to kind of continue what's happening from the Metropolis Theater, talk about some R&B classics, and continuing it with Spagattini All-Stars. And then, of course, it is the Q Hefner Pajama Party. But something that I really would like you to come to, we have a lot of night owls that are on this ship, but many people like to go to bed early because, you know, they want to get off the ship the next day and be fresh in the port cities. But if you can stay up, I would like to make a personal request tonight to stay up for Ralph Harris's show. Ralph Harris is our comedian, and it's going to be at midnight. So, you know, after midnight, gets a little bit, you know, it's another kind of a show. But Ralph is one of the singular funny people, one of the most funny people I've ever met.
He's a great
His
fellow.
show is hysterical. And I think that it's a perfect night, especially after all that energy that's happening on the stage, to have a little bit of gut busting going on. So 12 midnight for the Ralph Harris Big Stage Show in the Metropolis Theater.
There it is. There's our day at sea. It's a big one.
It's a biggie.
It's going to be huge. Should we get into a bit of tell us what you're celebrating?
Let's do it.
Alrighty. Firstly, we have Felicia Brown. Happy birthday to you.
I would like to wish happy 50th birthday. Now, I turned 50 in March.
You did. I was at the party.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
It was a great night for me, and a 50th year is special. So if it happened for me and it's happening for you, there's a few people that are celebrating their 50th this week at sea, so I want to acknowledge them. Moira Rasmussen celebrating her 50th. Tiandra Pais, Barry Ananag is celebrating his 50th. His wife Tony let us know about that. Stacy Bush told us about his wife Carla Bush celebrating her 50th, and Rosalind Roberts celebrating her 50th. And if we go into the 60s, we got Marty Sachs and Lynn Dudley Singleton celebrating their 60th.
And I've also got Kenneth Bundy celebrating his 60th, so a very happy birthday to you, Kenneth.
Sheila Sterling is celebrating the return of her husband from Afghanistan. So that's Sinclair and Sheila Sterling, and Sinclair also wanted me to know that it was Sheila's birthday, so happy birthday, Sheila.
And we've got Pam Humphrey and Terry Johnson on their honeymoon this week. So what a great thing, you know, coming to celebrate your honeymoon on board, the music that you love, all these great ports.
We haven't seen them. I don't think they've come out of their cabin.
Is that right?
Yeah. They got on board 2 days
I wonder
ago.
if Sheila E. or Larry Graham might bring them out of their cabin to inspire them for... You know.
Maybe on day 3 they might come out. Celebrating their 25th anniversary, Bill and Rosie Dunn, and Russ Wynn. We found out from his wife Patty that he is celebrating his 75th birthday on board. Wow.
We have Tracy and John Nash celebrating 24 years of marriage, so congratulations to you folks.
Retirement. We have a bunch of people, and over the week we'll hopefully get to you all celebrating their retirement. Deborah Akindele is celebrating hers after 35 years working for IBM. She's here on the ship with her husband Stanley. Franco Val is also celebrating his, and Maurizio Pierpaioli, gotta love that name, also celebrating his retirement. Congratulations, guys.
We have Rainer Ishorn and Andrea Ishorn celebrating their very first anniversary. So another great way to spend your first anniversary on board. Probably out of the cabin a bit more than the honeymoon.
Maybe a little bit more. Hopefully, even these two people that I'm going to announce right now are staying in their cabin a little bit to, have a little fun, if you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
Celebrating their 44th anniversary.
Wow, that's a great effort.
Bill and Maria Colacray, 44 years together. And the Contreras. This is Talia Trigueros' sister,
Okay.
Evelyn, and her husband, celebrating their 47th anniversary. 47 years together. Congratulations.
Congratulations
and thank
to
you so
everybody
much.
on board who is, celebrating these huge milestones. It's great when we're so happy that you're celebrating them with us.
So thank you for letting us know about that, and thank you for waking up this morning early.
Thanks for having me.
And we're going to go to the autograph session first, I guess. That's what's going to happen. And we'll see you around the ship. Have a fantastic day with so many things to do. Be sure to get a little rest, have some fun, grab some sun. Expecting a really nice day today. So have a beautiful day at sea on the Dave Koz Cruise.
Have a great day, folks.
Ciao.